to the Colorblind Architect podcast again, and it's the morning after the last presidential debate of the 2020 election season. And I must say, Mr. Trump and Mr. Biden did a much better job behaving. The moderator, she was a good schoolmarm. She kept them in line, and it was actually a civilized debate. I was really impressed. The other thing that was really amazing about this debate was how restrained Donald Trump was. He must have really had to practice, because I know he's been really irritated at the left for how they've been attacking him. They persecuted him with that phony impeachment. And I call it a phony impeachment because it was. I mean, they impeached him over a phone call where he simply, I read the transcript of the call. He was talking to the new president of Ukraine and simply asking him, could you look into that? He didn't pressure him. He didn't make any kind of quid pro quo. There was nothing there. And yet, we have Joe Biden on tape. We have him on recording at the Council of Foreign Relations, clearly saying that he was holding $1 billion of U.S. aid to the Ukraine. If the prior president, the president at that time of Ukraine, didn't fire Viktor Shokin, the prosecutor. Now, I would say that is a very clear quid pro quo. But in that case, again, I think the real reason why the Democrats were going after Mr. Trump with the impeachment was because Trump was starting to get a little bit too close to uncovering and unlocking this corrupt influence peddling campaign that the Democrats have been running for a really long time around the world. And here's the thing. The rest of the world, I'm sure, has to be sick and tired of the duplicity. Because And this is what makes me really mad about the Hunter Biden laptop. It's not the fact that, okay, social media, that sucks that they're censoring people. Yeah, I know that the conservative media is going crazy over that. What really bothers me is what it's revealing about the truth of politics in Washington. That the Washington, D.C. elite politicians have been influence peddling around the world, basically corrupting the whole entire planet by making them pay bribes and kickbacks in order to get favors from U.S. politicians, because we are essentially the hegemonic power in the world. And it starts to make you think, oh, maybe that's why Russia and China are trying to push back on us. Yeah, I can understand it. Now, do I agree with them? No, I do not agree with the Russians or the Chinese, but I can kind of understand why they would not want us to be the hegemonic power, because, after all, we're taking bribes and kickbacks. And not we as the people. No, I'm talking about the politicians. Our elected officials are getting rich off of selling influence to the rest of the world. So that's what makes me mad. And they're doing it in my name. They're doing it in your name. That's what bothers me. And it's gross. It's sick. And Joe Biden should be ashamed of himself. But instead, he flat out lied last night during the debate. He flat out lied. He said that he's never taken a penny from any foreign power. And I'm like, uh-huh. Okay. You could at least be honest and say if they have bought you lunch, technically that's taking a penny from a foreign power. And you know very well that as vice president, he would have received a free lunch at some point. Okay? And that's fine. I mean, that's a perfectly normal thing. I take clients out to lunch all the time. Why? Because that's good business. You're trying to establish relationships. That's understandable. And it's also reciprocal, because if we're here in the United States and we're let's say a politician from Estonia is visiting the United States. Yeah, you bet we're gonna buy him lunch. Yeah, that's normal. It's called hospitality. It's the way that you're supposed to behave when you're meeting with foreign dignitaries, or even just friends. Be reciprocal, right? You buy each other lunch. Oh, I've got it today, right? What makes it wrong is when you've got millions of dollars being steered into a private secret bank account or an investment account for you through your son, and then you use that influence and you try to propagate policies in favor of said country. Let's just take China for example. Isn't it strange that Joe Biden, all talk, he's all talk. He'll say that he's tough on China, but yet we've seen video of him. There's video of him practically making love with Xi Jinping. I mean, like, they were like best of buddies. I mean, like, you should have seen how, there's some of these videos where it's like you can see Xi Jinping just like, I've got this puppet on a string. I mean, and here we are potentially at war with China. And we're supposed to vote for Joe Biden, who is not only in bed with China, but he's been taking money from China. Big time money. Now, not directly, I know. But based on the emails, based on the verified emails, as in other recipients of the email who were in the investment group that were receiving the money, confirmed that the big guy is Joe Biden. And there was money being kept aside for the big guy. Okay? It's obvious. It's obvious what was going on here. I mean, after all, congressional salaries are less than $200,000 a year. Even the vice presidential salary, and he was only there for 8 years, is maybe what, $350,000 a year? So, sure, he could have been really frugal. He could have built things up. But if you're being frugal, why are you buying a $10 million mansion? Multiple millions of dollars mansions. You're not doing that if your top annual income over the past 47 years has been, a couple $100,000. Yeah, it defies logic, okay? It defies credulity. Joe Biden is corrupt, and last night's debate made it very clear that he was corrupt. You could tell that he was corrupt just by his actions, by his nervous laughter, his pausing, his vehement lying. Because when somebody's lying, you can kind of tell. Even if they're really good at lying, like Joe Biden is a pretty good liar. I will give him credit for that, but after all, he's been a career politician for 47 years, so you don't get to be a career politician for 47 years and not be an outstanding liar. And let me make this clear. I mean, this is not anything necessarily saying that Donald Trump is some kind of angel or anything. He's not. He's absolutely not an angel. But at the same time, he's actually done stuff that's been good for our country. Immediately upon taking office, he cut taxes, which, as I've talked about before, that has had a direct positive impact on my family's well-being, and I'm sure your family's well-being as well. He recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. He got the United Arab Emirates and Qatar to recognize Israel as a country. Okay? He has kept peace. He has not started any new foreign wars. He has gotten our NATO partners to actually pay their fair share. He's dramatically cut illegal immigration. He's been building the wall, even though personally I'm not even really like somebody who felt like the wall was necessary, because in my mind enforcement is the much more important one. But you got to give him credit. He promised the wall, and he's been building the wall. I mean, is it a giant masonry wall like I'm sure a lot of people imagined when he was talking about it in the 2016 campaign? No. But who cares? He's building the wall that the Border Patrol is recommending. So, he's getting stuff done. I mean, you think about it, it's like, the people who complain about Donald Trump the most are typically complaining about the fact that he, exaggerates. He uses a lot of hyperbole, and he doesn't talk like a polished politician. And it's like, yeah, but he is getting stuff done, unlike politicians who never get anything done. Oh, except for enriching yourself. Good job there, Joe. Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Like I said, I'm not doing this for any kind of YouTube algorithm or anything like that. I don't really freaking care. I am just simply spouting off my opinions. And hey, if you're enjoying it, go ahead, hit the like button, hit subscribe. Sure, I'm happy for it. But at the same time, if you don't really care, yeah, that's fine. Whatever. Move on. So, anyways, thanks a lot. Again, I'm the Colorblind Architect. Peace out.